Long before philosophy, science, or formal institutions, human beings across distant lands shared a striking similarity, an awareness that reality extended beyond the visible world into a higher, unseen order. Welcome to History and Society, where history is explained through the systems of money, belief, power, and ideas that shape civilization. From the earliest traces of human life, people behaved as though existence carried meaning beyond survival. Birth, death, nature, and morality were treated not as accidents, but as signs pointing toward something greater. Across continents and centuries, societies differed in language, climate, and culture, yet almost none lacked some recognition of the sacred, whether clearly articulated or quietly sensed. This universality presents a serious historical question. Why does belief in God, or in a higher reality, appear wherever humans settle, even when civilizations develop without contact or shared tradition? If belief were merely inherited, isolated societies would lack it. If belief were accidental, patterns would be inconsistent. Yet history shows something else, a recurring recognition that does not depend on geography or imitation. Early human life unfolded amid forces beyond control. Storms destroyed shelter, illness arrived without warning, and death intervened without explanation, reminding people of their dependence and limitation. In response, humans did not treat these forces as meaningless. They interpreted them, organized life around them, and acted as though existence operated within an order larger than immediate perception. This response appeared before formal theology or philosophy. People oriented themselves toward what they sensed long before they explained it. Across civilizations, humans distinguished between what merely existed and what was sacred. Certain actions, places, times, and values were treated as elevated and inviolable. This distinction shaped behavior. Conduct was judged not only by outcome, but by alignment with higher principles believed to govern existence itself. Such accountability often operated without enforcement. People restrained themselves, even when no authority observed them, suggesting belief in consequences beyond immediate human reach. This pattern appears too consistently to be dismissed as coincidence. Independent societies, separated by oceans and centuries, developed similar orientations toward transcendence. The names differed, the symbols differed, the stories differed, but the direction remained remarkably consistent, upward, beyond the material, toward a higher source of order and meaning. What varies in history is not whether humans sense the sacred, but how clearly they understand it and how faithfully they preserve it over time. Even in societies without preserved records of formal revelation, traces of this awareness endured. Moral intuition, reverence, restraint, and appeal to higher judgment appeared repeatedly. These are not the marks of invention. They are the marks of response. Human beings do not begin with complete knowledge. They begin with perception, awareness, and recognition, and only later attempt to give structure and language to what they have encountered. As communities expanded, the shared orientation toward the sacred became a source of cohesion. While personal trust weakened, shared reverence preserved unity among strangers. Belief anchored identity across generations. Empires collapsed, rulers vanished, but sacred understanding carried meaning forward where power could not. Moral order preceded political order. Obligation existed before governance, and law followed belief, not the other way around. Sacred accountability shaped conduct long before courts or enforcement mechanisms existed. People acted as though they were answerable to something higher than society itself. This reveals something important. Belief did not arise to serve civilization. Civilization formed around belief. If these reflections help you see history more clearly, consider subscribing and enabling notifications so future explorations of civilization's systems may quietly reach you. Over time, societies organized sacred understanding into structured forms. Teachings were preserved, rituals formalized, and guidance transmitted, not to create belief, but to protect it from loss. Different civilizations emphasized different dimensions of this understanding. Some focused on outward order, law, and structure. Others emphasized inward recognition, conscience, and personal alignment. These approaches were not opposites. They reflected complementary responses to the same perceived reality, shaped by circumstance, temperament, and historical need. Where outward structure hardened into rigidity, inward awareness reasserted itself. Where inward focus drifted into disorder, structure returned to restore balance. This pattern repeats across history. It suggests that belief responds to something living rather than static, something that cannot be fully contained by any single expression. As knowledge expanded, explanations of nature evolved. Sacred understanding did not vanish, but shifted emphasis, addressing meaning, purpose, and moral responsibility rather than physical mechanism. History shows that belief endured not by resisting knowledge, but by addressing questions knowledge alone could not resolve: justice, suffering, accountability, and ultimate purpose. Civilizations that lost, shared sacred meaning without replacement often fractured. Moral uncertainty preceded social instability, revealing belief's role as civilizational glue. Even societies that consider themselves secular retain sacred patterns. Ideologies adopt symbols, rituals, moral absolutes, and promises of salvation, mirroring older religious structures. This persistence suggests belief is not an error awaiting correction. It reflects an enduring human response to transcendence encountered across eras and conditions. Diversity of expression reflects human limitation, not absence of truth. Understanding varies, clarity shifts, and transmission changes, yet recognition remains. History does not record a single moment when belief began. It records continuous human engagement with the sacred, shaped by culture, language, and circumstance. Civilizations differ in how they describe the divine, but not in whether they sense it. This consistency challenges the idea of coincidence. Randomness produces variation, not universality. Independent repetition suggests something real being encountered repeatedly. Belief appears across civilizations because human beings are not responding to an empty universe. They are responding to a reality that presses itself upon human consciousness. People may misunderstand it, distort it, or forget parts of it, but they do not invent the impulse itself. That impulse reemerges after suppression, returns under new forms, and persists, even when denied, because it does not depend on institutions to exist. Belief endures because it aligns with something fundamental in human awareness, a recognition that existence is ordered, meaningful, and accountable beyond the self. Whether expressed through law, devotion, reflection, or conscience, belief continues to guide human behavior across civilizations. If you value thoughtful examinations of history's deeper structures, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, allowing these long conversations with the past to continue. Understanding why belief in God appears everywhere is not about resolving doctrine. It is about recognizing a pattern written across human history itself. A pattern suggesting that humanity does not merely imagine the sacred, but repeatedly encounters it, responds to it, and struggles to express it faithfully. In observing this continuity, history reveals not the creation of God by humans, but humanity's enduring response to a reality greater than itself. And in that response, we see one of the deepest structures shaping civilization across time.